Hi, good evening. Confirm audio. So today's session is going to be more about solving questions, theory, a lot of theory we have covered earlier. Topic of allegations I would like to introduce today. Let us see how it goes. Let us start with the first problem. Here. So we are continuing and building upon the concept of averages that we had seen yesterday, day before yesterday. Equal quantities, good, very good. Equal quantities of two mixtures are combined. So what will be ratio of water to wine? While framing the question, if I call them mixture A and mixture B, you notice here, first name is wine, second name is water. Wine, water. To me, it appears that the liters are 6. To me, it appears the liters are 8. The LCM of both, the lowest multiple of both is 24. So I need to multiply 4 here to make it equal. I need to multiply 3 here to make it equal. But you need to pay attention here. When the question has been framed, the ratio is asked for water first. Water you need to find out first. Now this 4 will be multiplied with this 5. Water is 20 units. This 3 will be multiplied with this 5. So water is 15 units divided by ratio of wine. This 4 is multiplied here. So wine becomes 4. This 3 is multiplied here. So wine becomes 9. So the answer should be 35 by 13. So these are the tricks cat plays with us. They'll give you the ratio of x and y, and they'll ask you for y and x. So always make sure you're reading the right order, or you're while marking, you're marking the right answer. It will be 35 by 13. While framing the question, water has been asked first. So yes, you must keep in mind water must be in the numerator. These are very common tricks cat plays on you. Other exams also they do these things. To avoid mistakes, I've seen many times I'm able to avoid at least 2 mistakes in every paper of QA, every section of QA. While I mark the answer, before I mark the answer, I always read the question mark. The question mark. What does the question mark say? Question mark is hardly 10 words. So if you read before the question mark, you'll get to see whether they're asking for the value of x, or they're asking for x by 2, or they're asking for x square. This kind of thought process has always saved me from making mistakes. Minimum 2 mistakes I'm able to avoid in every quant section whenever I appear a paper. Always read the last 10 words. Go ahead, give it a shot. 3 mixtures containing milk and water in the ratio of this, this, and this are mixed in the ratio of 3 to 1. 3 to 1. What is the resultant ratio of milk to water? Take a minute or so. Give it a try. See, before you could mix any 2 components, 3 components in a specific ratio, you should first equalize them. Learn this as a trick. Otherwise, you'll waste a lot of time. I'm calling the first one again A, second one I'm calling B, and third one I'm calling C. Here we have milk and water. First one has a ratio of 5 by 1. Second one has a ratio of 2 by 1. And third one is 3 by 1. Before you could make any new ratio 3 to 1, this is something we need. You must equalize first. The total addition is 6. Addition of this is 3 and this is 4. What is the smallest multiple that you could think of? 6, 3 and 4. Smallest multiple is 12. So you first make them 12. Observe. I'm doubling the first one. So it becomes 10 and 2. This becomes 12. I'm making this 4 times. This becomes 8, 4. This becomes 12. And this one 3 times. This becomes 9 and 3, and this becomes 12. Once it has become 12, once it becomes 12, that means it is in the ratio of 1 by 1 by 1. Because it is in the same ratio 1 by 1 by 1, you can now create any possible ratio. What do we actually need? We need the first one to be thrice in the volume. So I'll make it 3 times now. This becomes 30 and this becomes 6. Second one, I need it to be twice in the volume. Twice. I'll make it twice. This will be 16 and this will be 8. And the last one I need it to be 1. So it is 1. Don't worry. It is already 1. Don't worry. So 9 and 3. Now be careful. We require milk divided by water. We want milk in the numerator and water in the denominator. So this is milk. 30, 16 and 9. 30, 16 and 9. That is 55. And what is water? Water is 6, 8 and 3. 6, 8 and 3. That is 17. So your answer is 55 by 17, which belongs to, or which happens to be, none of these. No, again, before you could make it 3 to 1, 1 to 3, XYZ, before you could make them in any ratio, learn to equalize first. This is the fastest way to solve all such questions. Equalize first. Now, because they have become equal, they are already in the same ratio 1 by 1 by 1. You can multiply any term you like. You can multiply any term that you like. Confirmation on this? Very good. Give it a shot. So here you observe the average age of 20 persons. 20 persons increases by 4 months when a person of 20 years is replaced by a new person. The age of new person is. Now see, there are some people, there are 20 people. Out of those, one person goes whose age is 20 years and one person joins whose age has been asked. Now, because of joining of this person, the average increases by 4 months. So you don't even have to use your pen to answer such questions. They're very, very low level questions. See, the person joining must be carrying 4 months for everyone. 4 months for everyone. So the person is carrying 80 months extra with him. See, because the age must be above the person who is leaving. The person leaving is 20 years old. The joining person be 20 years plus 80 months. 80 months is how many years? 12 into 6, 72. So 6 years. This is 72 months. Plus how many months? 8 months. The person joining must be 26 years and 8 months old. This is a very common sense based question. If you think in terms of deviation, the person joining must be above the age of person leaving. How much above? The person should have 80 months above the person leaving. Why 80 months? Because that is the total increase. Average increase is 4 months. 4 months for 20 people. So 80 months extra is this person carrying. So these 80 months are how many years? 6 years is 72 months. So 8 months extra. 6 years and 8 months above the age of 20. So 26 years and 8 months. We do not need to know what was the average of earlier people. Is the solution clear to everyone? A very elementary level question, just to showcase, highlight the method of deviation. Deviation is 4 months for everyone, 4 months for 20 people. So deviation is 80 months. These 80 months are being brought by the new person. The average age of a group of officers goes down to 52 years from 54 years when an old member is replaced by a young member. What is the total number of members in the team if the age difference between the two members is 30 years? So I want you to again think in terms of delta or change. Day before yesterday, we spent about 20 minutes on different variations of averages based upon delta, method of change. Now you need to pay attention on two things. One, what is 30 years? 30 years is the age gap between older person and the younger person. What is happening is one older member or elder person is leaving the group and a younger member is joining the group. So we are saying old minus young is equal to 30 years. So this is the loss. This is the loss that is happening total. 30 years is the loss they have to take. Because see, there were n members. Older one leaves and a new one joins. The number of members remain the same. So these n members take a loss of 2. See, what is the loss in the average? Loss in the average is 2. From 54, the average becomes 52. 2 is the loss. So how many members must be there in the group? 15 members. Let us say you are not able to keep up with this. So you can always take the formula approach, the regular method. In fact, sometimes under pressure, you may not be able to think like this. So here, if I assume the members are n into 54, this was the age of all of them. Out of this, 30 years are gone because older person leaves, younger joins. So 30 years are gone. And now I divided by again n. Because of this, the total average becomes 52. And you rearrange and solve. Notice you will get the exact same answer. If I rearrange, 2n is equal to 30, n is equal to 50. You'll have the exact same answer. Left hand side is the standard approach. What have we done? We have multiplied n with the average. It gives us total minus what is the loss in the age upon total members is equal to the new average. Basically applying the concept of averages. This is the deviation method. There's a deviation of 30 in age and there's a deviation of 2 in the average. So what should I divide 30 by to get 2? Moving on. Try this. There are 20 students in a class whose average marks in a subject, the maximum marks of which is 100, is 82. If 3 students leave the class, what is the maximum by which the average could go up? So basically the question is, 3 students are going to leave, and because 3 students are going to leave, how much gain can there be for other students? How much can they gain? The remaining students can gain. Let me highlight a few things first. There are 20 students. 20 students. Their average marks are 82 and maximum marks are 100. Average marks 82, maximum marks 100. Students are 20. So 3 of these are going to leave. Do you guys remember when we took some numbers? We took some random numbers last time. We said there are 4 numbers and their average, let us say, is 32. When a number leaves, see, if a number 38 leaves, it will take away numbers from others. But if the number leaving is, let us say, 20, it will give away its share to others. It will give away its own share to others. So see here, because the average score of everyone is 82. Average score is 82. We do not know who is going to leave. We do not know who is going to leave. So what is the maximum increase we could achieve? See, I am saying the people who are leaving, they carry 0 score. They carry 0 score. So I can imagine they are giving away 82 of their average marks to the class. How many people are there who are leaving? 3. So they are giving away from their own pocket 3 into 82. And this 3 into 82, I can distribute among the remaining students. Remaining are 17 students. So roughly speaking, this is the maximum gain they can give to others. See, you and I don't know their actual scores. But if somebody takes away 0, 0 is the minimum possible score we can give anyone. If they carry 0 with them, they give their own share to others. So here, the maximum increase that could be there is 3 into 82 divided by 17. So 14.47 maximum increase they can give to others. So among the given choices, if I have to mark, among the options, if I have to mark, the exact answer is 14.47. Among these, if I have to go for, I'll go with this. Is the reasoning clear to you? Is the reasoning clear to you? You can solve it by forming equations. But again, you'll have to imagine the person leaving, they carry 0 marks. Another way to do this is, there are 20 people. There are 20 people. Their average is 82. This is their total. This is their total. I want same total to be given to 17 people. This is their new average. So in this case, the kind of calculation I'm performing, that is the new average. You need to again subtract 82 from this. You need to again subtract 82 from this to get the answer. This is deviations approach. What was the language? When a smaller number leaves, it gives away benefit to others. So we are imagining the smaller number leaving. The smaller number leaving here is 0. Now I have seen people argue in this case, sir, why can't the person leaving be carrying negative marks? But this is not CAT exam. People with 4 marks, 6 marks in LRDI end up scoring as high as 80 percentile. So in CAT we have negative marks as well. Here we can imagine 0 is the minimum score. Try this. Take a minute, try this. Here we are trying to find out weighted average for three numbers. We have discussed this, what variables we can use in weighted average. The average speed of a train for first 5 hours was 62 kmph. For 3 hours, it was 56 kmph. For 2 hours, it was 71 kmph. What was the average speed of the train for the entire journey? Now, I don't even have to worry about these definitions. We know average निकालने बोला है. And how do we find average of three numbers? N1, A1, N2, A2, N3, A3 by N1 plus N2 plus N3. This is how we find average of three numbers. So average should be calculated. But here we see 5 hours, 3 hours and 2 hours. The average is 62 kmph, average is 56 kmph and average is 71 kmph. Please observe, this is the number in the middle. So when 56 comes to join, it brings a loss of 6. There are 3 hours like this. When 71 comes to join, it brings a benefit of 9. There are 2 hours like this. So when you divide this by total, this is the deviation that you are calculating. And you see the deviation is minus 18 plus 18 upon 10. Deviation is 0. So here we have no change. So the actual average remains 62 kmph. You do not need to worry about definition. It says find the average. You remember we have discussed there are 8 terms on which we can calculate weighted average. Profit and loss, we can do this. Speed, we can do this. Rate of the product, we can do this. Discount percent, we can do this. Even on SI. SI upon PN is equal to R, we can do this. So all these parameters, we can apply weighted average. What is the formula for speed? Distance upon time. Time will always be the denominator. Look at this. This is the value of time. Time must be the denominator. Time will be the denominator. Moving on. Try this. This is exact replica of CAT set, CAT question. Try. 10 years ago, the ages of members of a joint family of 8 people added up to 231 years. 3 years later, one member died at the age of 60 and a child was born. During the same year, another member, after another 3 years, one more member died at the age of 60 and a child was born during the same year. The current average age of this 8-member joint family is nearest to average, current average age. If I can find total age, I can also find average age. So I should try to find total. See here, what is the age? The age is 231 years. When is this? This is 10 years backwards. This is 10 years backwards. 10 years ago. How many members? 8 members. Now see, after giving you this information, the sentence says 3 years later. This is not 3 years later from today. This is 3 years later from the reference. What is the reference? 10 years ago, what was happening? From here, if I move forward by 3 years, can I say every member will gain 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. So total gain is 24 years when we reach here. 231 was the age earlier. Now 24 is the gain. At this point of time, one old member at the age of 60 passes away. So 60 will be deducted because from the total, a member is passing away. So the age will be taken as now 0. A child is born. 8 does not change. Members remain 8 throughout. 8 does not change. After another 3 years, so if I wait for another 3 years, members are still 8, they gain 24 years. Every person gains plus 3 plus 3. Even the child who was born will be 3 years old now. At this point, again, one member passes away at the age of 60. At the age of 60, member passes away. Now the question is, what is the age today? So now if I have to reach today, today will be 4 years away. So 8 members gaining plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, that is plus 32. So from 231, I am supposed to subtract these numbers. I am supposed to subtract 120. That is 1, 1, 1. And I am supposed to add these numbers. What is this? This is 24, 24, 48, 48 plus 32. That is 80. I'm supposed to increase 80. So total age today is 191. Total age of the family is 191 and members never changed. Members always remained 8. Why? A elder person pass away and a child is born at the same time. So members did not change. So how can I find average? Divided by 8. 8 into 2, 16, carried over 3, 31. When I divide 31 by 8, it is almost 4 times. Almost. The question is nearest to. What is the average age of the joint family? Nearest to. This is the simple most approach, simple most way. Today's average will be 24. This is the simple most way to find out the average. You find out total value first. Once you know total value, you can find out average by dividing with 8. Can you think of a different approach to the same problem? See, there is one more way in which you and I can approach this problem. That is, at any point of time, you see from here to here, total members are always 8. Total members are always 8. Listen to the language very carefully. Whatever is the average right now, 231 upon 8, whatever is the average, it is supposed to increase by 10. The average is supposed to increase by 10 because 10 years have passed. I have told you this concept earlier. I have trained you on this concept earlier that when you increase every number by k, it appears in the average. This should have been the average, but we lost two members of 8, 60 and 60. So we lost 120 divided by it. On average, we lost this. So your answer should be 231 by 8 minus 10 plus 10 minus 15. 231 by 8 plus 10 minus 15. 231 by 8, that is 28, 28.875 plus 10 minus 5. So you see your answer should be 23.875. So what number will you mark? You'll mark 24. Now what is this approach I'm applying here? What exactly is this approach? What is this method? Because total number of members never changed, it always remained 8. The total number of members never changed. So every member gains 10 years. So average should go up by 10. This should be the increase in the average. Then what are we applying here? We are applying the average loss. The total loss was 60 and 60, 120. Total loss was 120. What is the average loss? Average loss is 5. So plus 10 minus 5. That should be the answer. Second method is much more efficient. But वो एग्जाम में क्लिक करेगा क्या अपने को? Will we be able to keep up with it? The first is more manual. एक साल दो साल का gap लेके we are adding first, then subtracting 60, then adding, then subtracting 60, and so on so on. Second method is more, I'll say, a little better than earlier one. Try this. This is a question from CAT, if I'm not mistaken, 2018 or 2019. This is a CAT question. A class consists of 20 boys and 30 girls. In mid-semester examination, the average score of girls was 5 higher than the boys. In the final exam, however, the average score of girls dropped by 3, while the average score of the entire class increased by 2. Increase in the average score of boys is. Increase in the average score of boys is. I want to point out something here. In this question, the average has not been given. Neither the boys nor the girls. You do not know their average. You know the increase in average, decrease in average. This question you could solve very well by assuming decent numbers. If you want to take a risk, assume numbers and solve. Don't even form equations. Assume numbers and solve. So go on, I'll wait for 2 minutes for you to try. The number of boys and number of girls is 20 and 30. We call these mixing numbers, if you remember. So whatever answer I will get from 20, 30, I can get the same answer with 2 and 3. I will have the exact same answer with 2 as well as 3. Now here, please observe. The average score of girls was 5 higher than boys. I can assume any number I want. See, if I assume boys had an average of 10, girls had an average of 15. So what was the class average? Please observe. The class average was 20 plus 45 upon 50 upon 5. 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 5. That is 65 upon 5. This was the average of the class. This is the average of boys. This average of girls. I've assumed them. You can assume whatever you like. Now, the average score of girls dropped by 3. The average score of girls becomes 12. The average score of the entire class increases by 2. This is 13. The average becomes 15. The question is, what is the change or what is the increase in boys' average score? So if I assume the average score of boys is B, how can we find this? We can find this 2 into B, 3 into 12 upon 5 is equal to 15. So 2B plus 36 is equal to 75. 2B is equal to 39. 2B is equal to 19.5. Earlier the average was 10. Now the average is 19.5. How much growth do you see? How much growth do you see? 9.5. Earlier average of boys was 10. The new average of boys is 19.5. So what is the growth or what is the increment? Increment is 9.5. So you see, because the entire question is about change in the average, either increase or decrease, the actual value does not matter. You can still manage and answer this question without actually finding out the value for the average. Write down the solution, observe the approach. Is it possible to do the same question by deviation? Yes, we can do same question by deviation. Now here a question comes in the mind. Sir, when you are assuming, how did you decide on 10 and 15? You could have taken any number. If you wanted, you could have taken the average of boys as 0. लड़कों का अगर आपने average 0 लिया, if you take the average of boys equal to 0, the average of girls become 5. And you will have the same answer, don't worry. You can take 0 also for boys because the entire question is about change. Denominator is total number of people. Total number of people are 2 plus 3. How do we calculate total score? 2 into 10. I have assumed 10 is the average. 2 into 10 is 20 for the boys. 3 into 15, 45 for the girls. Total people are 5. Do you remember that concept? Mixing quantities should be put in the ratio. These are mixing quantities. Mixing quantities. Or mixing numbers can be put into ratios. Chalo, moving on from this. Bottle 1, again cat question. Bottle 1 contains mixture of milk and water in 7:2 ratio. Bottle 2 contains mixture of milk and water in 9:4 ratio. In what ratio should the volumes of the two liquids be combined so as to obtain a mixture of milk and water in the ratio of 3:1? I want the final ratio to be 3:1. Go on, give it a shot. In what volume should I combine the contents of these two mixtures so that the overall milk and water ratio becomes 3:1? Now, there's a concept of allegations. If you know that concept of allegations, you could solve this question in 3 to 4 steps. If you apply common sense, if you notice pattern in numbers, if you apply common sense, you might be able to get answer faster. You might have heard me many times talking about mentor first should be able to score in the exam, then I'll be serious about the mentor's ability to solve the question. Otherwise, scratching pen and paper, you will eventually reach answer. Observe. Bottle 1. Bottle 1 has contents in the ratio of 7:2. So do you understand? If I use integral liters, it should be multiple of 9. Do you see? Every answer option has a multiple of 9. And what multiple of 9? Luckily for you, it is 3 times. So when I make it 3 times to match that number, see, this becomes 3 into 7, 21 liters of milk, and this becomes 3 into 2, 6 liters of water. Now see the second one, do you see it appears like a multiple of 13? And this is the only multiple of 13. So I'm testing. This may not be the complete or correct approach. To make it 13, I need to make it 1 times. So this is 9 and this is 4. What do I have here? 30 upon 10. Does milk upon water match with the desired outcome? Yes, you have your answer. So you could solve this question pretty much verbally if you observe numbers here. Such tricks are taught by people who face exams live in those stipulated time period. If I wanted to solve, I can solve it by assuming variable x, variable y, or applying allegations. Allegations is the sure shot way of getting the answer for this particular problem. Variables might take 4 to 5 steps, but if you notice here, the milk is 7 parts and water is 2 parts in the first solution. It makes me feel the liters are a multiple of 9. And every answer option is a multiple of 9, 27. So I just made it 27 by multiplying 3. So milk became 21, water became 6. Now, if it is integer number of liters, it looks like a multiple of 13. 9 liters of milk and 4 liters of water looks like 13. Addition is 13. So directly I added 9 liters of milk and 4 liters of water, and it perfectly matches 3 by 1. Job done. Is the solution clear to everyone? Moving on. Average height of 22 toddlers. Average height of 22 toddlers increases by 2 inches when 2 of them leave this group. If the height of these 2 toddlers is 1/3 of the average height of the original 22, then the average height in inches of the remaining 20 toddlers is. Again, you see the wording. Nowhere we have got the average age in the question. We have only got the increase and decrease, increase and decrease. So even CAT people are deliberately framing questions on delta method or change method. Again, a solving question from CAT. There are 22 toddlers. You do not know what is their average, but the average will increase by 2 when 2 of them leave the group. Those who are leaving the group, their average height is 1/3 of the average height of the original group. So the question is, what is the height in inches of remaining 20 toddlers? So you are looking for increased height, increased average. So here, please observe, I'm imagining. See, first I'll solve it through the thorough method. The average height was originally A. A was the average. There were how many toddlers? 22 toddlers were there. 22. Out of 22, how many are leaving? 2 of them are leaving. So how many remain? 20 remain. Now please pay attention. Listen to this. If the average height of those 2 toddlers is 1/3 of the average of original 22. I've assumed average as A. The people who are leaving, their average is 1/3. How many of them are leaving? 2 of them are leaving. So they will take away their height. This is total height of all of them. This is 2 people leaving, toddlers are leaving. Their average is A by 3. And because of this, the total average increases by 2. Understand, your answer is not A. Your answer is the new height, A plus 2. Let me rearrange this. 22A minus 2 by 3A is equal to 20A plus 40. Let me bring it on the opposite side. 22 minus 20, 2 minus 2 by 3A is equal to 40. This goes above 6 minus 2, 4 by 3a, 40, 10. So listen to the language. The original average, the old average was 30. Don't go and mark 30. Don't be in a hurry. Your answer is not the old age, old height, old height. Your answer is the new height. The new height is plus 2. The increased height is, because the question is for the remaining 20, it is increased by 2. 32 is your answer. Don't mark 30 as the answer. Don't do that. Confirmation on this? Now, could we have done this in a slightly better manner? Now see, again. In exam, you will be under pressure, but if you can practice now, that is the best. See, do you remember if, let us say, the average age of a group was 20 and a person was leaving, let us say, 15. So how much does the person give away others? The person gives away 5 to others. Here, listen to this. The people who are leaving, their average is a by 3. So how much are they leaving for other? Average was 20, 15 is leaving. So leaving for others, extra for others is 5. Average was a, leaving is a by 3. So they are leaving a minus a by 3 for others. How many people are leaving? 2 of them are leaving. How many will benefit from this? 20 will benefit from this. And what is the benefit? Plus 2. Plus 2 is the benefit. Please observe. Cancelled, cancelled. This 20 goes on the opposite side, cross multiply. 2 by 3a is equal to 20. A is equal to 30. Original average was 30. So the new must be 32. Again, understand. Everything is about change in. The change overall is plus 2. So I can approach by deviations method here. Let us solve one more problem. Let us cover one more question. Then we'll end this. Consider three mixtures. First having water. In fact, I think we should end this, because if I do not end this and the laptop goes off, we lose the recording. Yeah, I'll update you on the next session pretty soon. Yeah, good night, guys.